Love Phil Collins. Everybody. Let me show that, Sage. I don't know why YouTube's holding that. YouTube just seems to be holding a lot of comments. For real. Okay, so we can talk about anything we want. Please dress your words up in chat. So look, there are a lot of people I do not watch, but I was over at Mama T's. She was talking about Ernie. Now she's got history with Ernie, right? I'm not sure if I did or not, Genevieve. I'm going to go over it's Sizzle's Lair. When I pull it up, I'll put the link in chat. Constance Sue actually got it and put it all together. Hey, Sandy, I'm waving. But when you get time, hey, Cinnamon Girl, when you get time, Genevieve, I'm going to post the link, right? And I'm sorry, I know I woke you up. I was going to ask Flies, but I haven't talked to her. I don't know what's up with her. I know she had some stuff going on, so I'm not going to bother her. Not going to bother her. I'm sure other people will get a hold of her to, I mean, if she knows, she'll let them know, I'm sure. Okay, let me pin that really quick live. So I did ask Genevieve a little bit about this Ernie and the short instance. Hold on, I got to turn my lamp on. I'm just now starting to feel a little bit better. I've been under the freaking weather really bad. Really, really bad. So, oh, hold on. We got beeping going on. All kinds of stuff going on. Okay, so from my understanding, when the pair of shorts and it was a blanket or something, I think, Ernie had hooked up with a guy named Chad Nesbitt. And that was after Predator Hunter Nation broke up, right? And Ernie said something about he had found these pictures on this park bench. Now they're saying it's Newport. No, Genevieve said that hey, Constance Sue, supposedly they used these pictures of a missing child to entrap predators, right? Something like that. Constance, you can take the link, honey, if you want. Anybody can take the link. This is just a conversation we're having. Okay. Constance did say Benny would probably know a lot about this also. There were quite a few channels that I was looking at. Sizzle's Lair, Double Mint Twins, Read Between the Lines. Many channels that have covered Ernie, right? But let's get into this. Him talking about Ed Redmond. Okay, so there's a few Ed Redmonds that were named in Summer's case. So let's just go through this real quick. So there was an Eddie Lee Redmond that passed away in Kingsport at the age of 74. He passed away on February 9th of 2025. Okay, so I'm not going to get a whole lot into that, but we're going to hop over here to this article. Now, I've read over this article before, right? So that is when Fred had the incident with a guy named, hang on, I'll give you his name. I'll just read it to you. The man who shot another man who was supposedly standing in the driveway of his Beach Creek residence last week was arrested later in the day on February 24, 2016. Okay, after it was learned that the shooter is a convicted felon out of Virginia. So what they are saying is a convicted felon out of Virginia. And in a recent development, the victim himself could also potentially face charges involving the alleged vandalism of a neighbor's property. Okay, so this is how Redmond gets involved. Sheriff Ronnie Lawson said Fred Hill Jr., 39, of 167 Ben Hill Road in Rogersville, was charged with unlawful carry or possession of a weapon, a Class E. Sorry, I knocked myself out of my freaking StreamYard again. I'm sorry, Sandy. I was just giving you guys a resting moment. Yes, I did, Carrie. Carrie knows me well. I kicked myself. I am sorry. I was afraid that was going to happen because my freaking mouse. I told you guys, ever since I got this new stuff, I am all over the place with it. Okay, hold on. Let me share it again. I apologize. Okay, hold on. Hold on. I got a couple things I got to do here. I am very sorry. I wasn't prepared. I was not prepared. Okay, so Ernie and Chad Nesbitt, they got together and they formed, I don't know, predator hunters. They were trying to be predator hunters. And they say they had these pictures of a missing child that they were allegedly using for catching predators, right? Okay, Jen, when you're ready, Genevieve, let me know. I'm here, girl. Didn't mean to mess you up. Okay. So, Hill reportedly has felony convictions in Virginia involving the use of firearms dating back to October 2011. Fred was held in the Hawkins County Jail pending an arraignment. But this is what is interesting. So it was around 12:42 a.m. During the overnight hours, sheriff deputies responded to an address in the Beach Creek community in reference to shots being fired. They spoke to Fred Hill. The victim, Roy Fanning, 44, of 350 Bank Drive in the Fall Branch area, allegedly discharged a firearm in the air. Now, Fred, of course, we know, shot the dude, right? So 2 days later, a sheriff's deputy by the name of Bobby Moffett met with Edward Redmond of 245 Ben Hill Road, who said that on February 24th, the individual that Fred pew-pewed was on his property and tore down a cable fence which he had at the end of a county road. It was said that Redmond pulled up to that post that the cable was attached to and threw it in a ditch. Okay, so then I want to come over to here. Okay, I'm going to try, let me make this a little bit bigger. So here also is a Edward Redmond. This was in Arkansas, I believe. On July 16, 2025, an Arkansas County jury found, hold on, Edward Redmond, 54, they found him guilty of the offense of continuous sexual abuse of a child for touching the genitals of two girls with his hand after a little more than an hour of deliberations. The testimony showed that both girls outcried of the abuse in 2022. The outcry came to light when the eldest child was attending a presentation of the Hope Squad. The Hope Squad harnesses the power of peer-to-peer connection to reduce the risk of children unaliving themselves. They were partnered with mental health agencies and training members to recognize the warning signs and connect those struggling to help. Okay. It had come to light that the younger child had been abused in a similar fashion as well. At the time, the girls were 12 and 14. After the girls' outcry, they were taken to the Children's Advocacy Center in Corpus Christi, Texas, to be interviewed and were taken to the Children's Hospital. The oldest child, I'll say trigger warning, described that the abuse happened between the ages of 9 until she was about 12. The younger described that it happened when she was about 10. Both girls did testify at trial. The eldest child describing having a freeze moment when he touched her and she cried on the stand. So okay, let me get out of there. Boop. So yes, for sure. Hey, RJ. For sure, for sure. But they're talking about the individual that lived at 110, well, not 110. Hold on. Okay. So there is a Edward Redmond in Rogersville. At this time, he was 64. He lived at 242 Ben Hill in Rogersville. 242. I'm not sure how long ago this was because that is the information in the phone book. Then there's a Edward Redmond that lived on a Ben Allen Road, but that's in Nashville. Also, the Rogersville Review, there's an individual with the last name Redmond. Let's pull that up. Let me see if we can get this. Let's see what this says. This may not even pertain to what we're looking at here. Oh, the article's not there. Well, that's weird. Huh. That is weird. Let me go back. Hold on. Wonder why that's not there. Allegedly, I think the Rogersville Review and them have it where you have to sign up for the newspaper now to get the articles. Because I don't see it on here. Okay, hold on. Let me see what I'm doing here. Mount Carmel man accused Redmond hit him on the left side of his head, causing a minor laceration. And it's not going to let me have the... I'm sure... Oh, here it is. Okay, I got it. Hold on. Hold on, babes. No shit. Shit fire, save matches. Let's try this again. Hold on, I'm going to try to get it. Maybe I can get a little bit of it. Mount Carmel man accused of harming daughter's boyfriend with a loaded pew-pew. It's not going to let me have the whole article. But let's take a look at it and see. And I don't know if this is the guy or not. I can't see that well. I don't know, Lisa. I would have to pull it back up. I think I already got rid of it. I had too many apps open. A Mount Carmel man was charged with aggravated assault last week, accused of pistol whipping his daughter's boyfriend during a dispute over a child. Let's see how much it's going to let me get away with here. That's it. That's all they're going to give me. This guy's name is Freddie. So that is not, that's Freddie Redmond. That is Freddie Redmond for sure. So hold on, let me check my phone. Genevieve was sending me some stuff. Hold on. When she sends it to my phone, I have to try to send it to my email. Let's see what this is. Hold on. So I don't know. Give me 1 second. Candace calls the police on Ernie. Hold on. I don't know how long this is. Hold on. This is Candace calls the police on Ernie. Hold on. I can't hardly deal with it on my phone. That's why I like to have shit sent to Okay, this is only three minutes long. This is a channel called Code Case Colette. I'm not sure what this is. I don't know what Genevieve just sent me, but this is Candace calls police on Ernie. Now, allegedly, and I have to say allegedly, I would have to find it. They were talking about freaking is that you, Genevieve? Hold on, I'll pull you up. I don't, is that you, Genevieve? You got a new icon there? Those charges were from 2016. What charges are you talking about? That man looked like the man from Seven Hills. Is it, okay, Genevieve, I got you. Yeah, those aren't new charges. Those aren't, no, RJ, they're not new charges. I read the charge dates. I read what the charge dates were. No, they wasn't new charges. Okay, now I lost myself here. Hold on.
While you're going through this, I'm gonna mute out so you're not picking up my background.
Well, you sound really good, so
Yeah, I'm just gonna mute so you don't hear what's going on and hear where I'm at.
okay.
But I'll tune in.
Okay. Now I'm not sure what exactly is on these. Constance put these out, and they're clips from Sizzler's Lair. Okay, Genevieve, answer me this. So because I confused on exactly where this stuff was supposedly taking place. So when Ernie said he found the shorts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then like a blanket or something, he was with Chad Nesbitt at that time.
I don't know if Chad Nesbitt was with him, but he was claiming that he was with Chad Nesbitt's search the company that they created. Chad did. He was claiming to be with all of them when he found that. That happened a long time ago, and God, that happened a long time ago. And it seems like those that clothing article and that blanket or something, there was 2 or 3 items found, and they claimed that they had found related to Summers' case there close to Ben Hill. But when it came to fruition, it was that the items hadn't been weathered enough for it to belong to her.
But wasn't there talk that, and I'm not going to say this is true or not, but there was talk at one time that the Wells or somebody had claimed that Ernie possibly could have gotten into their home, right?
Right, because he had made multiple trips up there on the hill, and Candace wound up calling the law.
Oh, okay, I've got that. Yeah, I've got that right in front of me. That's what you sent me.
A link in a text message that I found of where Candace had called the law to him, and it was the night that he showed up there claiming to be delivering dog and cat food. I think it was cat. I don't know, but it was anyways. Yeah. And the cop, the deputy was up there at the house, and he had a flat tire when Ernie had walked to the top of the hill.
Right. Yeah, I think I showed that. I think I've already showed that. Where he was up there. Because he went up there to deliver pizza, too.
He made multiple trips up there. It got to the point where she was getting tired of his mess. Well, and he would want to come at night or late in the evening where she couldn't see, or, you know, you being a woman in a house by yourself, it don't matter how close your neighbors are. You're kind of cautious about who's coming up on your property. But he was making efforts to come. He was making efforts to make his presence known after the sun went down.
Well, I know that Dee Dee, Candace's friend Dee Dee, came into my chat a few times and said that she absolutely was there. Hey, Kawana, absolutely there when Ernie come up there. And I don't know exactly, I can't remember what she had said she said to him or what the situation was. But yeah, Sizzle's Lair. I have been binge watching that channel. They have a whole lot on Ernie. Now, I didn't get a chance to really go through to see if I could find what I was looking for or whatever. Hang on, I just messed myself up again. So, and the shorts and stuff, did that take place before the pics of the missing girl on the park bench? Genevieve?
I'm thinking.
So this is what I'm
It
understanding.
had to have happened after. It had to have happened after, because they were trying to bait and vigilante and trap predators in the park by using images and creating scenarios to capture predators or to call them out when he was with Predator Hunter Nation. And it seems like the Chad Nesbitt, the blanket, the shorts, and all that happened after that.
Okay, so I guess so those pictures that he allegedly was using was of underage kids and missing kids also?
Honey, there's no telling what that fool was using. And it doesn't.
I know.
And I don't know exactly what images. I don't have those devices. I don't want those devices. I'm hoping that the right authorities have received those devices, I've been told, and it's been shared on live YouTube feeds that all that stuff was turned over to law enforcement agencies. Right. And I hope they've got it.
Well, I'm sure they do, but I'm kind of questioning this a little bit because I don't understand why everyone wants to call. I mean, Ernie is not in Tennessee, from my understanding, right?
And I don't know where Ernie's at.
I don't either. But I know that, people are like, hey, if you know about Ernie, call the TBI or whatever. TBI, they are very much aware of Ernie. Very much aware of Ernie. Hawkins County is very much aware of Ernie. The problem gets into that if Ernie can talk all he wants to, he can say whatever he wants to, and people may believe him, yet he's not breaking any crime. He's not committing a crime.
He is exploiting people off of their empathy and what they can give him as far as money.
Okay, but I mean, that wouldn't have, I mean, yeah, he could get in trouble for that. You just have to make sure that you have everything that TBI can go look at. You've got to verify your stuff. Just calling them up on the phone and saying, this guy's a loser, I mean, they probably would agree with you.
They want to see receipts where you've sent him money. They want to see video footage of what he's done on his video feeds. Right. They want to see text messages, social media correspondence. They want to see all of that. Or it's just, well, you're a grown-ass adult. If you feel kind-hearted enough to give this fool money, then that's your prerogative. That's your right. And he preys off of empathy, and he preys off of those that are empathetic enough to give him money.
Right. Okay, now I'm not sure what's in this because I haven't had a chance to watch it, but I'm kind of curious what all's on here. I will say this is my opinion. Ernie doesn't know anything about Summer's case. The only thing that he knows is what everybody else is telling him. He, how, I don't know. I mean, you guys really believe that Ernie is anywhere near Beach Creek? I don't think so, right? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and play this off my phone. This is called Candace Calls Police on Ernie. Hang on, I'll make it a little bit bigger. Maybe I can get some more information off of it. This is at Red Flags with Colette. Let's just take a listen. Let me make sure everything's turned up. Okay, hopefully you guys can hear this. Hold on, there's music.
Oh dear. Candace Bly has recently called the police on Ernie Shell. So guys,
I don't hear it.
If you're aware, Ernie Shell claims that Candace
I can hear it.
To 110 Ben Hill Road to visit her. When he got there, Candace was nowhere to be seen. Her hungry cats and dogs appeared to be starving and not being fed. So Ernie Shell very kindly went and bought the animals some food. And then I imagine Candace, who was not at home, was made aware that Ernie had arrived. According to the police, Candace called the police on Ernie for trespassing. Now, a police officer arrived at Candace's house and he seemed to have got a puncture on the tyre on his vehicle. So I doubt the police officer was very happy. Not only do the local police and sheriff's office constantly get called about Candace, now Candace herself is calling them to remove trespassers, i.e. Ernie Shell, from her property. Wow. And there was me thinking that Candace and Ernie were once friends. Apparently not. And apparently Candace doesn't want to speak to him. She told him she'd appear on a live show with him to tell all about Summer's disappearance. She then doesn't bother to show up. She then invites him to her house, isn't there when he arrives, and then calls the police on him for trespassing. Wow, oh wow. Candace Bly.
Okay. So that is just her giving her opinion and narrative on it. Okay, so
Yeah,
Candace, go ahead, babe.
I was just agreeing with you. That's what she done.
Yeah, she.
I mean, she just yeah, but Candace has been playing games with a lot of folks.
That's right. That is absolutely right. Candace never said she'd tell all. Candace told Ernie to give her 2 days and they would talk about it, right? I never heard her say she'd tell all, but I don't know. I keep having the feeling that Candace was talking about Dawn, that Candace was telling Ernie stuff about Dawn.
No, there's videos to where Ernie was drilling Candace for information, and then he was absolutely coaching her, and there's a term for it. I'm still half asleep. Where you make leading statements, or ask leading questions, and then she'll sit there and he'll wait for a response. Then he'll repeat the question again, and he'll keep repeating key words out of those same phrases and questions. And it was causing her to say, "Yeah, oh my God, I'm going to flip the F out." I've watched those videos, and that's exactly what he was doing. He was gaslighting the hell out of her. And
he does that with everybody.
He does it with everybody, but he does it with the most vulnerable.
Yeah, that is, Constance. She said, we'll talk about it. Yeah. we'll talk about it. Give me 2 days. 2
I
days and
remember.
we'll talk about it.
I remember about the time that all went down.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of watched him off and on, but I always felt that this is the problem. Ernie is shady. Ernie will say things to, in my opinion, if Ernie was to get arrested for a crime, okay, no matter what that crime may be, he has set himself up, especially on YouTube, especially with Tina, where he can claim some sort of, mental issue. Does that
Right.
make sense?
He uses mental health as a crutch to make himself look a little off kilter or under the influence of something or going through some kind of mental health crisis to and you know what, I'm very disappointed in a lot of law enforcement that have came in contact with him, but now I understand why he doesn't go to jail. I understand now why nobody has filed any warrants for him, even if they got evidence out the wazoo. He uses this as a crutch, and then if he
Right.
does go to jail, which he has went several times, and when he does go to jail, he becomes so theatrical that he presents himself as a liability to the facility he's being housed at, whether it
Exactly.
be a hospital, a jail, a holding cell, whatever the case and place may be. He makes himself in such a crutch, and he becomes a liability to them that they don't want the doctor bills. They don't want to have to
Yes.
sit there and hold him for any length of time. They don't
Yeah.
want to have to transport him for his mental health evaluations and counseling services, because I'm telling you, jails and prisons are not set up and staffed the way people think they are, and they
Right.
do not want to waste time with somebody like Ernie.
Well, I mean, Blythe mentioned that to me a while back, that, they don't want to have to deal with paying for his mental medicine. They don't want to have to pay for his HIV medicine. They don't want to have to pay, if he has to be on some specific food. They don't want to have to pay for him. Now,
No,
what I seen happen in Massachusetts, this is just my opinion. They were like, this guy isn't from our state. Let's get him the fuck out of here as quickly as possible.
that's what I said too whenever I found out, whenever they were getting ready to extradite him back to Kentucky.
So,
And
I mean,
and Kentucky don't want him because he strolled all over the state. Tennessee don't want him because I don't know what address Ernie may be claiming or not claiming. I don't know the status of his driver's license without looking at an actual record of some caliber.
right?
But Ernie would be classified if Ernie was to be picked up in my county right now and I were to be the one to book him into the facility under whatever charge they were putting on him, and I started going down and asking him questions, physical, medical questions, so that we would have knowledge of it to accommodate him while he was there, uh, my jail administrator would say, "No, I don't know. We can't afford him."
Right. Well, see, that's what I said too, Carrie. He doesn't even have a driver's license. They would
And
have
he was
at
he's
least in that state anyway, right? At
and he's
least,
classified as homeless because he does not have. He does not have. If he gets caught in Massachusetts, he's not a resident of the state. If he gets caught in Tennessee, he's not a resident of the state. If he's claiming a Kentucky address, depending on where he's at, they know so much about him by now through Kentucky State Police Post. They don't want to fool with him anywhere.
right. Okay, I'm going to start this. Let's see what's going on here. Like I said, this is Constance Sue. She put together Sizzlers, Layers, Clips. Thank you guys. I don't think. Yeah, Johnny, for sure. Okay, here we go.
Back to this. This is her channel. It's got the spiders. And she, her first video, it looks like, was an Ernie Shell video. And then there was an
Constance, I pulled this channel up on my TV, and I will plead guilty to I went down a rabbit hole. I watched almost everything this girl had on Ernie. I did.
Ernie Shell Slips and Falls on the Ice. That was Prayer Gardens. We watched that already. And then Trisha, True Lives at Missing.
Okay, let's see if
But
we can
let's
get
listen to
this.
his jibber jabber. Oh no, don't tell me my mouse going to quit today. No, no, you don't.
And I can promise you that.
Nicolina, you took your videos down. All your videos. Why? Why's all your videos taken down for? It's too late. It's too late. It's too late. Why would you do that for? I know why. I know why. Because you got.
I'm gonna check. I don't know. I'm gonna check Flies too. I didn't get a chance to do that yet. I'm not exactly sure how far back her stuff with Ernie goes that she's put out. I mean, she's got a lot of stuff. She just hasn't put it all out.
Yourself in your house by accident. That was shown a while ago that you doxed yourself. Now you don't know what the hell to do. Everybody has your address now.
And let me tell you about Ernie's doxing. He freaking doxed me for no reason. No reason. Right?
It's just one of the many.
Sage, I just put Constance link in the chat. I just put that in there.
He doesn't even dox people right. You're just throwing information out there for the hungry wolves to grab the scraps on.
Well, he claimed it's an accident. It wasn't an accident when he said my name.
No, it's never an accident with him.
Let me tell you something. He said my full name. Then Lips thought she was being cute, came into my chat, put my phone number in chat, like she, was a fucking whatever. Nobody patted her on the back over it. These people are fucked up people, for sure. Ernie hasn't solved anything. If anybody has any information, they need to call TBI, not Ernie Shell. Okay? Sorry, gentlemen, go ahead.
I'm sorry. If he's out of the state and you know that he's out of the state of Tennessee, notify the state police.
That's a good one, Genevieve. But they're not gonna state police. I mean, no law enforcement officer is gonna go looking for Ernie Shell because somebody calls and says, "Oh, Ernie said this. Ernie said that."
Right.
It has to make sense.
Right.
It has to make sense. And even though it may make sense to you, you have to make sure that it makes sense to somebody else. I mean, really.
And he's an adult. Keep that in mind, too. Adults have the free will to do and say whatever they want in exercising their First Amendment right. And he has over-abused that right.
Well, there's a lot of them who's done that, for real.
Well, there is, but we're hyper-focused on one right now. But, yeah. And then you got this to deal with. Even if you don't know where he's at, keep well-documented information. If you write down that channel name, write down that channel title.
Let me ask you this though, Genevieve, because you kind of were and I don't want to word this wrong, but you knew of Ernie, especially when he was doing the stuff claiming he was doing and finding all this stuff out about Summer's case, right?
Yeah, I didn't know who Ernie Shell was or at all until December 5th of 2020.
Okay,
So
so
I've been knowing of Ernie shenanigans since December 5th of 2020.
okay, so what was the first thing that you became aware of when they inserted themselves into Summer's case?
That they're
What?
anti-CPS extremists, they're vigilante predator hunters. They were trying to make a name for themselves because his dream in life is to become a well-recognized actor or hero. They
Okay,
were
hold on to that for just a second. Let people know what you're talking about when you say the CPS extremist stuff.
okay. So anti-CPS and DCS extremists. That's just what I categorize people like that involved in. Department of Children's Services across the United States has created for themselves a very negative image in removing children from homes. So the extremist, they will go to the point of actually committing vigilante crimes. They will contact the parents who are making the claims that their children they're being harassed by CPS. Um, Most of those people have a history of being reported to CPS, regardless of what the allegations are. They put everything on social media. They stream, they troll social media accounts, and look for these people who are portraying themselves as victims. Now, there are a lot of victims of CPS abuse. There is absolutely a lot of victims of CPS abuse. But they will target these individuals by catfishing and trolling social media accounts to find these individuals sharing their stories. Then they'll make contact with these parents or these victims and they'll say, let me help you so they don't go to foster care. Let me help you get your children to a safe location. We don't need them. These bastards have caused enough trouble tearing families apart. But what they're not realizing is, the birds of a feather flock together theory. But well, it's true in a lot of these extremist cases. A lot of them have histories of drug and alcohol abuse or serious mental health crises.
Right.
So I'm not saying those kids need to be removed. The thing has got to be the whole case. It's a case by case basis. But the extremists, they will target these families and emotionally exploit them, financially exploit them, and even go as far as removing the child or getting them involved with a family member or an associate or a friend, thinking letting that parent think that child is safe and out of the grasp of a CPS caseworker bringing a warrant to remove a child. And it happens every day. And law enforcement classifies those situations as non-familial custodial interference. So it's a very low-key crime in comparison to how our laws and statutes are written to protect children.
That doesn't make sense because it sounds like that they're basically kidnapping children.
That's exactly what they're doing in the good graces of saving a child. It's a false narrative.
Right.
They will send people out to people's home. They're very savvy, very IT savvy. They will print badges to make it because you can go online and you can do this yourself. You could simply Google Tennessee Department of Children's Services badge, and you can go to images, and it's going to show you an image of what a badge looks like.
Right.
Well, if you're good and skilled with a computer or a copier or anything, you can print that image off or download that image, Photoshop that image, and make a badge look real.
Well, we know that Ernie, when he got busted in Arkansas, right? He
Uh-huh.
had a bag full of badges and, you know, clothing and different things like that. So, you know, that's never been hidden because I believe it was on the police report that yes, he had a duffel bag with a lot of different things in it.
That's
A
not the
lot of
first time
different
he's
things.
been caught doing that. That van he left up there in Kentucky, he left personal items in it too.
Right. Well,
And
let me say, it's one thing to have badges and, you know, clothing and stuff like that, but when you start getting into duct tape and zip ties and stuff like that, it's like, wait a minute, that is a lot. That's a lot for
well,
sure.
Ernie is a voyeuristic opportunist. If he thinks he can make money off of an image or a video or anything, he will target somebody to do something or say something and then take the material that he's recorded or Photoshop or whatever he does to the recordings, chop it up to blackmail people.
Right.
And
Well, there's a lot of them that edit stuff on YouTube.
well, there's the point I'm trying to make with these badges and these little stage props and all that. If he is staging encounters with individuals who are already mentally unstable and they fulfill his fantasy and they act out a fantasy, but in real time, because he can always fall back that the fantasy was for entertainment purposes only and them actually be committing some heinous act, he can take and use that material to blackmail the individuals involved or anyone suspiciously involved. You don't have to be directly involved with anything with Ernie. If he thinks he's got information on you or he think he can chop up something to use against you to blackmail you, he's going to do it. He's not the only one in the world that does that, but we're talking about him for the moment.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I mean, he ain't the only one that does it, for sure. For sure. The thing, this is what I want to say, because I know some people probably watched my live yesterday and was like, what, you know, what's the point there? My point is, I've said this about a couple people who have inserted themselves into Summer's case. There are individuals, you know, predators, you know, PDFs, all kinds of individuals. You might have a missing child. These people, I'm not saying they're guilty of anything. This is just an example. They will get close to these family members. Getting close to these family members, they can keep up with the you know, law enforcement, you know, the case. And what did we hear yesterday? Ernie asking Dawn what the TBI was saying, what Hawkins County was saying. It's like, why would you need to know that? That shouldn't even be open for discussion, right? So yeah, he was inquiring with what law enforcement was saying.
Mm-hmm.
So in the guise of, oh, I look for missing children, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have all these credentials. If you go back and listen, Ernie has said many times he does not have any credentials.
No, he does not.
He'll say that he does, then he'll say that he doesn't. And, you know, people just take that however they want to take it.
And that's just like him regurgitating all this mess about still being a bounty hunter in Tennessee. No, ma'am, he's not. He is not a bounty hunter in Tennessee, because our bonding, to be a quote unquote bounty hunter or fugitive recovery agent in Tennessee, you have to hold a contract with a absolute bonding agent, not just a bondsman. There's a difference.
Well, they don't let felons do that anyway, do they?
No, and he has had so many reports of moral turpitude, and with him being in trouble so often with law enforcement, nobody, they'd be a damn fool if they did, but nobody would be willing to sign him on as a fugitive recovery agent to give them access to people's personal information that they have bonded out to go and recover, because in a bonding agent's paperwork, for if they set a bond for somebody and a bonding agent goes and bails them out of jail, there is so much information there: contact information, next of kin, relatives, addresses, all of that is in that file, and they'd be a damn fool if they let him have it.
Constance said he does have a license in Kentucky, though. It's on the website.
A license for what in Kentucky? Because Kentucky don't have bondsmen.
Yeah, I thought that. That's what I thought, too. I didn't know that they did, right?
Kentucky does not. Kentucky is a cash bond or purge pay. There is no bonding agencies in Kentucky.
Right.
And in Tennessee, go to the Department of Commerce and Insurance and call that 615 number at the bottom of the screen. Talk to the operator, tell them who and what you're looking for, because that's public information, and they can look him up by his full name and date of birth to see if he holds any licenses.
Right.
If you can't find it on the search page, they will be glad to tell you.
Right. Let's see. I don't know who this channel. I'm checking channels, so I don't know who this is, but just to be safe, I'm not gonna mess with them. Hold on, I got.
What's the name of the channel?
I don't know. Don't even want to say. Just gonna nip it in the bud. Okay, so I just don't want to deal with trolls today.
Constance Sue, I'm asking you to please recheck that and get verbal verification, because he cannot be a fugitive recovery agent in Tennessee unless he is contracted with a bonding agent.
Well, I mean, if Constance looked him up.
Honey, I work for all this mess. I know what I'm talking about. He cannot work as a fugitive recovery agent in the state of Tennessee. He does not possess a valid driver's license of any caliber. He's had too many reports of moral turpitude filed against him, and no bonding agent will hire him or contract him. Hey, you can hold a license to cut hair and never open the front door of a shop.
Okay,
he may have a license, but he can't do nothing with it.
Ernie Shell. Hold on, I'll look it up.
Go to Tennessee Department of Insurance and Commerce.
Tennessee Department of, what is it?
Insurance and Commerce. And it may be vice versa, but that's what the department is.
License lookup. Let's say verify on Tennessee.gov. Look up a professional license. I don't want to have to go through a bunch of shit. But
that's what I'm saying. Anybody that wants to inquire about it, it's in their best interest to call the number and talk directly with someone.
Yeah.
Yes, Constance. I didn't mean to have a tone with you, sweetheart. It's just, this is so frustrating dealing with this fool.
I know, girl. You was getting loud in my ear. I was like, girl.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be. It's just frustrating in anything this man is associated with.
Yeah, I'm not going to look it up because it's wanting a license number and shit. I don't know anything about that. I mean, so what if he does? What does that mean
can't
if
do
he
anything.
does?
If he goes out here and tries to apprehend somebody claiming he's a fugitive recovery agent and he don't have his right paperwork in hand, and that bonding agent is not accompanying him at that jailhouse to get that person to turn that person in, it's null and void. They got to let him go.
Oh yeah, I could
And
see
then
that.
he can be charged. Then he can be charged with. He can be charged with several things. Impossible criminal impersonation of can be one of them.
Well, see, why would they let him hold a freaking license if he can't
Some
use it?
so, because anybody can get a license, honey. Or a
See,
convicted felon
that's
in prison gets licenses and contractor license all the time. But it doesn't mean that they can. If you've got a registered sex offender in jail or in prison, he takes a trade to get a license or required to register anything in the state of Tennessee to have a license. He can get his license to say that he's went through all the steps to obtain one, but it doesn't mean he can work in an environment to utilize his skill.
what do you mean, Bomber Cat? Oh, are you having weather problems? Or you mean
We've had
Genevieve?
storms.
Or do you mean Genevieve just got a little loud? Genevieve is very passionate, for real.
I'm
Just
very
pays
fed up with
money and
people
they
being. Yeah, I'm very fed up with people being taken advantage of by people like him.
Oh, I get it. I think a lot of us are. A lot of us are, but we cannot make people believe whatever I always say they get there when they get there. But yes, RJ, him being a convicted felon, yeah, I don't know how he would even it says convicted felon cannot be a bail bondsman or an agent for a bail bondsman or surety company in Tennessee. And there's the code for it right there. They
There
are
it is.
disqualified.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
yeah, I mean, the license that he has, you never know. You never know. This is the thing. If he walks up on somebody and claims that he's a bounty hunter, okay, and they do not, and he just flashes his license and they do not thoroughly look at it, they're going to believe whatever he says.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? They are going to believe could you imagine a female, him coming up on a female and claiming, and I'm not saying this happened, okay, but claiming that he is a bounty hunter, that they have a warrant, that he is going to take them to, to law enforcement, to a jail or whatever. How convenient for a fucking predator. How convenient would something like that be for a predator? Right?
That's what I've been griping and growling about for the last 6 years.
Hey,
he is a voyeuristic opportunist.
Well,
and
I have
I'm
to
not.
say, he's pretty good at it. He's
Well,
pretty good at it. I mean,
people
right?
laughed at me whenever I said that it was a good possibility of him being a serial killer, because look at what Dennis Schrader was doing.
Oh yeah, he worked for the city, didn't he?
Dennis Schrader was a deputy sheriff.
Oh, I didn't know he was a deputy sheriff.
Yes, Dennis Schrader was a deputy sheriff. And I
knew he worked for the city doing something, but yeah.
Well,
I didn't know.
For a short time, he was a deputy. I've got pictures of Dennis Schrader being out in the community with a uniform on.
Wow. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I definitely remember him doing something like that. But that just goes along the lines of what I've been saying the whole time. Ernie has came out for years and has kind of given himself an excuse for his behavior. Oh, yeah, I sometimes forget what I'm doing for days. I have PTSD. I have this. I have that. I mean, Ernie's had 2 broken legs, 2 broken arms, a chip in his head that needs replaced,
Don't forget about the snake bites.
Oh yeah, the cottonmouth. He got bit by a cottonmouth. And it hit him a little hard that time because he had been bitten by him before. You know, he was building up a protection to cottonmouth snakes. Yes, I got to see that too. I did. So it's just the like I said, if someone is spending a lot of time trying to give all these reasons for their behavior, and the newest one that really caught my attention was when he told Tina, I am not taking my mental medicine anymore. I didn't like the way it made me feel. Right there. What's that? I mean, why would you say that? Why would you want everyone to know that? So then, if you do something, that's going to be an excuse for your behavior right
Mm-hmm.
there. So that is what I try to, kind of get across to people for sure.
Constance Sue, I'm sorry, Constance. I'm still tired. Constance Sue said, no, it was Carrie, said that he already has shown up in certain places unannounced numerous times.
Right.
Numerous times. He showed up here where I'm at. I've got it on my security cameras.
Well, I
And it's
know
on the security.
he stalks people too. He's doxed a
Oh,
lot of freaking people.
yeah, he
Now, see, the sad thing about it is he will let people know, I know where you live. I know your real name. I know where you live, right? Who the fuck knows where he's going when he gets on those buses? He shows
well,
us what he wants to show us,
well,
right?
it ain't just the bus rides. There's no telling how many young, vulnerable gay men he has targeted with his homosexual activity that's been very well made public. There's no telling how many young, vulnerable gay men that he has targeted to have a free car ride, a free car to drive, take long trips, role play, to do all this stuff. And you've got a lot of these young people. So, and when I say young people, I'm 51, going on 52. Young people to me is anybody under the age of 35.
Right. Yeah, I'm like that too because I'm older.
So you got
So,
these young adult people that are
well,
still
yeah, I
struggling
mean,
with their preference, their sexual preference and identity, and he preys on those people.
well, this is what got me about that is because, okay, we all kind of figured he was
Hey,
bi
Chris.
or a homosexual or whatever, right? But the thing about it is, I didn't realize a lot of that until the grinder stuff happened. And let me tell you, he did not take that video down. When
Mm-mm.
he showed that the naughty behind stuff, and I don't mean behind the freaking fireplace. That was so stupid. Who the fuck says there's somebody in the fireplace behind the mirror? You're looking in a fucking mirror. So of course you're gonna be like somebody's in the fireplace. It's your own fucking it's you, dude. Right? That
And
was
with
the
as
most
many people, and with as many people as there is in this world have a genuine diagnosis of paranoid schizophrenia. I'm not saying he doesn't have episodes, but he plays those episodes out so
yes, thank
well.
you. Thank you. Who the fuck jumps out of a Hummer and be like, hey, chat, I just jumped out of that Hummer. Lord, did you see that? That was really good. I didn't even hurt myself. It's like,
And
are
then
you,
said somebody tried to run his ass over.
well, yeah, you're gonna jump out of a moving fucking vehicle. Of course, they're gonna try to not run you over, right? So everything that he does, to me, is a setup for something much bigger that he
A
in his mind.
distraction.
This is all my opinion, you guys. I'm a commentary channel and I give my opinion. And absolutely, everything that I've watched about this guy is setting up for a grand finale at some point. And when that grand finale happens, you're going to hear him say, yes, I told people right there. Here's the link to where I said, yeah, I forget things for a few days. Here's the link to where I said, I quit taking my medication. Here's me setting up everything for the grand finale. That's just the way it seems to me, right? Oh, I don't know, Johnny. All right, let's play a little bit more than that. Well, be careful, Bomber Cat. Be careful. Oh yeah, you can get a fishing license. Don't mean you're gonna fish.
Right.
For sure. I always wondered. Remember the lady that gave him a ride to Trump Towers, and she said he came out with a bag full of weird ass shit. Right? I need to find that because there was some stuff.
I'd like to say something about that too. Have y'all noticed that in the years that we've been watching and observing him, that he will go live and be at specific locations and he always finds a connection to Trump?
Well, not necessarily that. He always has a bag of goodies hid all over the place. That dude has a bag of stuff hid, I bet, in every state. Absolutely. And let me tell you, you might walk into Trump Towers, but I don't think you're going to leave that lobby. You know what I mean? I don't think that, and you can go, look, you can go to the Capitol. You can walk through there. There's a lot of places you can go as a civilian and just take pictures and stuff. He would go into places and try to say that I just had a meeting with Trump Jr., and shit like that. And I'm like, all right, dude, good on you. All right, I'm going to let me start this, see what else we got here.
Let's talk about the detective you cussed out. Oh, I didn't supposed to know.
Oh, the detective you cussed out. I gotta slow this down. I think I got it going too fast. Okay, hold on. I want to hear that again.
1,000 of us will win. And I can promise you that.
Nicolina, you took your videos down. All your videos. Why? Why's all your videos taken down for? It's too late. It's too late. It's too late. Why would you do that for? I know why. I know why. Because you doxed yourself in your house by accident. That was shown a while ago that you doxed yourself. Now you don't know what the hell to do. Everybody has your address now. Let's talk about the detective you cussed out. Oh, I didn't supposed to know about that, did I? No. You told him you wouldn't give ocean lovers money back unless there's a warrant filed or out for your arrest.
Oh, he's
You have to understand police and detectives are a little bit different.
Yeah, that happened several years ago.
If you're looking for a safe
Yeah, this did, right? Okay.
place to be, go to his chat. You're safe until he's not. Until you make him mad, question him, come to your senses, or even just don't show up often as he thinks you should. This is what happens.
Notice the window trim, notice the house colors. And I felt, well, my agent buddy friend of mine, he found a house. He found a house like that. You know, it was a 6-bedroom, 2-bathroom. $156,000, $1,300 a month for rent, and what that is. What the house is. Same trim, same kind of fence that I was looking for. But it's off the damn market, folks. The house is off the market. The house is off the market for some reason. Wow, it's been rented out. The house has been rented out. Here I am looking for a house like this right here. You can see how it comes up on the midways there. And it's a two-story house. You can't see much about it. And by God, I found that house. Found that house. Found that house.
Pause it, RC.
Okay.
He found a house. How many times have we seen him go live and him be in a house that looked completely vacant with no furniture other than just a regular furniture stage for a real estate sale?
Did you see when he put out the Flies has it over on her channel? Carrie, can you drop Flies' link for me, please? And he's in this house and he opens the door and he's like, here's a tunnel. And it looks like as they were building the house that they put in like it's like, it seems like it's an area where if they needed to, you know, go in and work on something, or, you know, a maintenance tunnel is what it looked like to me. Right? Thank you, Cinnamon Girl. Thank you, babe. They give a lot of lube and Annabelle, but no condoms. I don't know who gives that away for sure. Okay. So, absolutely. Look, we definitely know that he was going to some of his, I don't know if they were mods or subs, but I have the video where he goes in, he's at that Lisa girl's house, and her family comes in there, and they are not happy about him being there. And she is screaming, I guess it's her daughter, screaming at her daughter to get out of her house. Ernie tried to say that, her daughter was listening to trolls. And then he made a comment that, oh, I'm just waiting for a vehicle to be delivered from Georgia or some shit.
Yes, and I know who came and got him.
Who came and got him?
She's an Uber driver.
Oh.
She's been a part of his world for a long time now.
Storage for sub pumps. Storage for sub pumps. Thank you, Carrie.
I'm glad that young woman has seen got away from him too. I'm not going to dox her and I'm not going to announce her. I'm just proud that she's got away from him.
That's why I say people get there when they get there, right? Heck, he was in my home city, Chicago, with some chick. So they were tracking him. I bet that chick's family in Chicago. Oh, I don't know. I don't know who the girl was. And I'm not saying her last name or anything. I believe she's passed away. So rest in peace. And the only reason I knew her first name is because it's mentioned in the video. So that's the only reason I even knew her first name. Okay, let's move on. Go ahead.
The other day, I was sitting here thinking about all the people that he has not just emotionally and mentally harmed. Look at all the people that he's come in contact with just in the last 5.5 years alone that's no longer with us.
Right. Absolutely.
I mean, and it makes, now that you know what you know, it makes those gears turn even harder.
Thank you, Cinnamon Girl. That's so sweet. Thank you so much. Tiffany was supposed to send him a car. The truck driver guy, MJ, came and got him. Constance said, when was that, Constance?
I think she's talking about whenever he was at Lisa's and Lisa's family had showed up.
This is what gets me. Did anybody else recognize when the Grinder story came out, right? Ernie was at that house. He left that house. But then he came back. Why did he come back? If he was so freaking paranoid and thought that they were after him or whatever he was thinking, right? Why did he go back to that house? Why would he go back? Right? I mean, just a question. What great content, right? What great content. Yeah, that's
And-
where I've seen it constant with Sizzle's lair.
And if
That's where I've seen that.
you know darn well when he went back to that house, if they had any intentions of holding him against his will, I don't think they were holding him against his will at all. I think they were trying to keep him safe and out of the streets so he wouldn't hurt somebody else.
I agree. I think they were, trying to convince him that he was safe there. That wasn't the first time Ernie had been there.
No.
They had situations before from the way that it sounded. So, absolutely. Yeah, Constance, actually, I could pull that up really easy, but it is on Sizzle's lair. Her link is in the chat, you guys. I put Sizzle's lair's link to her channel in the chat. So
RC,
now
I'm gonna step down. I've got something to take care of. I'll be back in just a few minutes.
okay, bye, babe.
Bye.
Okay, let's hear some more of this, people.
I found the house.
If there's something specific you guys want me to pull up or something, just let me know. I'll gladly pull it up. All right. And Ernie, like I said, you keep saying that you're going to copyright strike everybody. When people stop talking about you, Ernie, what is going to be left for you? What is going to be left for you, right? If people were today to not talk about you anymore, not pay you any attention, don't come to your channel, don't watch you, don't come in your chat, which I don't do anyway. I don't show your content. I show what other great channels put out about your content. So where would you be? Where would you be? It's just a question.
So, about that damn house. I was looking for one like that. All of a sudden, I put it, I had my buddy, old Liberator, he put it up for me. He went and looked at it for me, I believe. Actually, I had a couple of my buddies.
He went look for it. I believe he went and looked at it for me. If somebody goes and looks at a house, you're going to know if you went and looked at a freaking house. You're not going to have to question it.
Look at it. And got some nice pictures. It was all right. I mean, a little bit of trash in the yard and trash around. And as I was watching and looking at this place, I was like, I don't know if I want to look there. I don't want to live there. There's a lot of trash there. A lot of trash around the area there.
Ernie, could you really? I couldn't afford $1,400 a month in rent. I couldn't. Who the fuck could? I mean, people who can, good on you. There's no way in hell I could ever freaking afford that much in fucking rent. I would have to have 5 roommates.
So I was just wondering, look how cheap that shit is for a 6-bedroom market. I'm telling you. I told you I was only going to go live if it's a special occasion. But look how close it looks to the house. This is my dream house here, folks.
MasterCard on wrap.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I heard about the MasterCard stuff. Called MasterCard on wrap.
Nicolina versus Benny. Ernie Shell lies about the MasterCard.
Yeah.
We already watched that one. Did Ernie Shell really get married? This is what
Did
we're
he
gonna
get
watch
married?
next.
I'm gonna let this play for a second, you guys, and go to the ladies' room. I'll be right back. Please be nice to each other in chat.
This one right here. The date on it is August 29th, 2022. She says, I was just lurking around Tiffany Marie's channel, and when I came across Ernie joining her on panel. He hasn't been around much in the last few days, so let's take a peek and see what it is he's up to. I do not own this content. It's covered under fair use. And there's a link to Tiffany's channel. And there's not one for Ernie's because it's deleted. August 29th, 2022.
How are you?
Ernie,
Hey, how you doing?
how are you? I didn't expect to see you. Hi.
A lot didn't. But hey, I just say I appreciate you doing the thing for the domestic violence hotline thing. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. You're taking awareness for that. That's good.
I'll turn my camera on really quick because you're on camera. You're welcome. I always share the hotline number, Ernie. We do that often, and I also do that because it's a constant, subject for Jody. So
But that's good. That's good you do that. That's really good you do that. I know you're real big in awareness for that, for general awareness for that. So that's awesome. Oh Lord. So you got any tips on like makeup and stuff? Because I'm getting ready to have like a lot of makeup and stuff done on me. I'm getting ready to be on set for my first time, and hey, what better way to ask than you know, for makeup tips and
kind of
stuff.
funny is like I'm not really big on makeup. I don't really put a lot on. So, but I have a friend. Her name is Boston Girl Bridget, and if you go to Beauty with Bridget, she could probably give you tips. Sorry,
Well, I'm
Bridget.
getting ready to have. I don't know. They said I was gonna look different, so I'm getting ready to have a bunch of makeup and stuff done on me because we're actually gonna be filming today or tomorrow actually. So tonight,
Okay.
and it's supposed to be like 4 hours worth of makeup. I've never done makeup in my life. So
What
tell
are
me
you
about it. We're actually shooting a film. I can't tell you much about the film, but we're on a film now. So
I'm sorry. I have to blow my nose. I have allergies or something. Hold on.
yeah, I just wonder because I've never done like they do makeup. They do makeup before you're on
Okay.
set, or before
Sorry,
you get on set,
y'all,
before
I'm
you start
back.
filming. I just wondering how that was and what that's going to do. If I'm
Let
going to
me
be allergic
find
to it.
my,
I mean, I've been
my
reading about it a little
earplugs.
bit, but kind of nervous. It's supposed to be like 4 hours worth of makeup. I don't know if it's going to be like the skin effects and stuff they're going to do or what, but I play a pretty decent part in this film, so I think it's going to be pretty cool.
So one thing I'll say, I never really followed Tiffany Marie. I'm not going to sit over here and bash her. I don't have any reason to do that. I mean, I've kind of roasted her a couple times and stuff like that. But if people go back to when Ernie got involved with Summer Wells' case, there was Benny, Tiffany, Lips, and a few at PG. All of those people, it was, they were all, I don't want to say associate. They were kind of associated with each other, right? Now, Benny says he brought Ernie to YouTube. Well, Prayer Garden says that she is the one who talked the Wells in to letting Benny in on the case, if you want to say, right? So, kind of crazy.
Okay, well, good luck.
You see this? Oh,
Oh,
look at
hold on.
look.
Do you have a new puppy?
Yeah, this is Bella.
Oh,
Hey, I thought that I would get like a Doberman picture or a miniature something else, and I ended up getting a miniature poodle. I don't even know how in the world I didn't know about this.
what's the name?
Bella.
Bella.
Yeah.
Oh, when did you get the dog, Ernie?
It's actually my wife.
Your what?
My wife.
Your wife?
Yeah.
You have a wife?
A lot.
Oh, that's pretty sickening. That's pretty gross. Pretty gross. He lost it because of that DUI until he takes care of that DUI. in the state, it's on his DMV record. He cannot get another driver's license. I offered to help him. I can't help it that he's well documented as being accident prone. Hey, archivist Tina. I don't know if you remember Ernie poking himself in the face. Yes, with a fork and fighting with himself. Yes, I remember that, Tina. I shared it if you want to see it on my wall. Okay. Well, we're just kind of hanging. We're just kind of hanging, looking at stuff. If things jog people's memories, that is always a plus for me. That is my whole. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. That's what I like to do. I like to jog people's memories, right? Jog my own memory.
A lot's happened.
Got married?
Yeah. I actually married an actress, so it's pretty cool. But you guys will find out more about it. But I appreciate you all. Thank you
He's
guys.
such a
And
liar.
Tiffany, I appreciate you for what
He
you're
is
doing with
such a liar.
domestic violence, and keep it up. And I hope you do a whole show.
Now, I'm going to tell you one thing that did really disappoint me. In with not it really didn't have to do with Summer's case, but there were so many people who were coming out saying that they were victims advocates. Now, in one way, shape, or form, I think we all are victims advocates to some degree, but I don't know how to explain this without saying I don't even remember what the young lady's name was, but I believe that, she was she was a part of Tiffany Benny's, I guess Duchess. I don't, I'm not sure exactly what transpired, but this young lady was having some issues at home. There was DV going on. She, claimed that her husband was military. There was a lot of problems going on there. And she had asked that group of people to help. Okay. Even to the point of, harming herself. I am not going to say who it is. That's not the point. That is not what I'm referring to. So, because the victim's advocate situation, was being pushed out so much, she truly believed that they would help in some way, that they would try to find the resources that she would need in her state to help her, right? She says, and I'm going to say allegedly, okay? I know what the girl said to me. I know what she emailed me also. She emailed me, I talked to her on the phone. And she says months later, that a creator answered her back, I guess in an email, and didn't even know who she was. So allegedly, she turned them over to law enforcement. I'll just put it like that. So, she wasn't very happy that for individuals claiming to be victims advocate, that they did not help her in any way, shape, or form. So, like I said, I'm not going to give the girl's name out. She was also a creator called her out in another creator's chat or something like that. Yeah, for sure.
With that, because there's a lot with that, and there's a lot that goes uncovered that needs to be brought out.
Yeah. Well, no, I was just going through the domestic violence stuff because it came up, but I'm going to move on to Jody in a few minutes. But I appreciate you coming up and saying hello, Ernie. I hope you're doing well.
I watch this show from time to time.
Do you? Oh, you
Yeah.
just stop in and say hello.
Now, this kind of tells you what kind of person Tiffany is. She I'm not even going to say alleged. There were inappropriate, well, I don't even know if she would consider them inappropriate pictures of herself to Benny and AB, right? And someone in Benny and AB, I believe it was on a live stream, they were talking about her. They were talking about the pictures she sent, and not in a very kind way, I must add. And she was asked about that. And she was like, why should I feel any type of way? They're the ones who talked about it, right? So it didn't bother her. It didn't bother her. And also, if y'all want to go back and watch something pretty interesting, she has a bad attitude while getting coffee one day, okay? And that is crazy, but it's out there if you guys want to see it. I think it was at a Dunkin' Donuts. And she wasn't happy with the coffee that they gave her, I guess. But it was wild. Law enforcement came. They sure did.
Well, thank you. Be safe. Be safe. Thank you.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Ernie.
That's funny.
She wasn't an actress, but she really was a doctor. I confirm that. She really was a doctor. But see,
Yes, Ernie had a doctor friend.
doctor wasn't good enough for him. He had to say actress. Okay, the next one.
What is next? What is next?
Ernie Shell joins Ziggy on the panel, and all hell breaks loose. I think we already watched that one on a different one.
Yeah, we
Ryan
watched that
Upchurch.
one.
Ernie Shell deleted video. Sovereign Dirty Lisa and her.
So Ryan Upchurch. I can't remember how he even was brought into Summer's case. He immediately, well, what happened, Benny and Candace did a live stream. Benny was talking about Ryan Upchurch and maybe getting Ryan Upchurch to, I guess, become involved in Summer's case or whatever. And this is just fact. I'm not dogging on Benny. Ryan Upchurch was like, oh, hell yeah, they would want me to, make an appearance or insert myself in this child's case. I have 3 million subs, right? I have 3 million followers, of course. Then, this is going back. Dolly, wasn't it Dolly, was going to take Candace to a Ryan Upchurch concert because she had never been to a concert, right? So let's take this mother of this missing child to a concert because she had never been to one. Well, Ryan Upchurch said, hell no, you're not coming to my concert. He did not want Candace there. I do know that Ryan felt that Candace absolutely was involved somehow with Summer going missing. I just seen him, I think it was on Jay for Justice. Ryan was up there and I heard him say that he absolutely believed that someone from that hauler absolutely took Summer. So that's what I heard, because I only heard just a second of it. So you remember that, Carrie? Hey, Renee Marie. Caroline. Hi, Caroline. I know Ernie is freaking whatever you want to call him. That is what he is. Yeah, it is quite the web. All actors. Absolutely. Take someone with special kids, respect the law enforcement courts to be acknowledged as a professional advocate. Oh, yeah. I mean,
Her family. That's the one we already watched. I'm not going to play it again unless anybody wants to. But this is alive. This is where Lisa and her family got in a fight over him. If anybody wants to watch it. Then the next one was, that's Jody Sue, Queen Bee, and Ron Upchurch.
I don't know why I was muted. I am so sorry. So yeah, this woman's family, her daughter, she was screaming at her to get out of her house. Ernie was being freaking Ernie. It was really weird. It was really weird. Let's see what we're gonna do next here. Here we go.
Anybody would just delete their channel. Benny Keys, I see you texting, I see your texts and your threats and all that. You see, but it's time something's done with you people who's done people wrong and done that. It's time. It's time. Fuck you, Benny Keys. There you go. How's that? You said mention your name one more time. I did. It's Benny. Very sad, people. Very sad. But you know, I've learned something over the years.
Was not take Benny and Ernie fighting, or some of these creators fighting with each other, and put that in a category of a missing child case. How? I mean, honestly, how the fuck did Benny and Ernie fighting with each other? Where did that have anything to do with Summer? Right? Now, I can see where it's like, Ernie, everybody still feels the same about you that they did in 2021, right? 2022, 2023, and on. Everybody still feels the same way. Well, except for Benny. I think he, kind of called a truce or something. So, but also, you got to remember, there are people that have to be careful and try not to get caught up in that dumb shit again, because it will not benefit them in their real life to do so, right?
You can't have a lawsuit if you're still on the thing. Somebody said something about that. I was like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I'm telling you.
All right, I'll speed it up.
So many fakes. But who needs it, huh?
Really? You're going to call other people fakes?
Who needs all this? I don't need all of it. I know I don't know
You
about
do
you
need all of it, Ernie.
You guys need all of it? I don't. I don't need none of this.
How many times, honestly, all right, people in the bushes, how many times have you all heard Ernie say, I don't need this. I ain't doing this no more? How many times have you heard Ernie, since he inserted himself into a missing child case, say, I don't want nothing to do with it. I'm done, right? You know, when he said that about Summer's case, he said that because Candace wasn't doing what he wanted her to do. So I questioned, why are you even involved? Why are you involved? It shouldn't matter if Candace wanted to play, you know, let me be on your channel and give you attention, right? Let me make sure that we're associated so I can get them clicks and views, right?
Now, oh God, I think everyone's starting to wake up. Oh God Almighty.
Yeah, people are waking up,
Guys, I
brother.
love you all, and I've had fun. But like I said, it is time for business. I don't need this. I don't need this.
What kind of business? How are you going to get to Tennessee? Oh, that's right. You can take a bus. Is your crew going to meet you there? Your crew going to meet you in Beach Creek? I wonder how Don Wells will react to that. Let me tell you guys something, though. And this is just the way I feel. I kind of wonder if Benny Keys walked up to 110 like the Hatfield and McCoy people did. Do you think Don would welcome him up there? Do you think Don Wells would welcome Ernie up there? See, that was the thing, and I've talked about this before. So you've got old Candace, you know, Don is like you know, Ernie Shell, that POS. He tried to come up here in the middle of the night. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, Don, but I have to say, now, I don't know if Ernie Shell ever went up to 110 when no one was there. I don't know that as a fact. I have a feeling, though, that your wife was having conversations with Ernie and made him feel like it would be okay to come up there. Now, this always got me too. Ernie seemed to not have a problem trotting his ass in the middle of the night in the dark up to 110. Up to 110, right? My ass wouldn't have went up there. What? How did he know about the dogs? That was the pizza before he bought the dogs food, right? He wants it to, yeah, Jaded. He wants the attention on him because if he goes quiet for any length of time, he starts looking more and more involved. No, I think, hey, Karen with a C, I think that he, it seems every July he starts with a new phase of his life and then the drama ensues. And then he has unfortunate encounters with law enforcement. He's always saying, I don't know nothing about that, but seems to know everything. Right, right. For sure. Well, I mean, that's why I said he doxes people, he threatens people. Anybody who's not wanting to kiss Ernie's ass, they're all the bad people. They are all the bad people, for sure.
I have my whole life ahead of me. My whole life ahead of me. Me and my fiance, we just rather ride into the sunset. We would just rather ride into the sunset together.
But he couldn't do it. Couldn't stay off YouTube.
Yeah, that didn't
You guys
work
wanna check
out
this
real
out?
well.
You want to find me, guys? www.ernieshell.com. I don't need YouTube. I don't even need YouTube now. Don't need it. Don't need it.
But you do need it.
Would I like to do an internet with rap sometimes? No, I don't want to do an interview with him.
I think he found that he could make more off YouTube than he did on Facebook, maybe. Right? All right, let's see what else we got here. Oh, this is Benny. I had this one pulled up. I was actually looking at this one. But Constance has it.
Yeah, Ernie was like not very far from where Summer was when she went missing.
Yes. Absolutely, he was. He lived 14 minutes from 110 Ben Hill Road in Churchill. He did. He told me he knew Don Wells from years ago. They all fucking knew each other. They may have not have been best buddies, but they were all very much aware of each other. Then I heard Don talking about, Ernie talking about these missing and exploited children being in motels and stuff. And he says, oh yeah, just like what Don Wells said, right? Ernie proceeds to give the prices that children are offered for. Yeah. He did.
Okay. Here's the video. The video is titled, Benny Keys releases a bombshell recording of Ernie Shell's ex-girlfriend in reference to Summer Wells.
In the Summer Wells case, I was told that Ernie knew the parents. And 2 months before, Ernie was trying to get me to go to like Utah with him to rescue a woman and her kid from a sex trafficking thing.
Okay, so this is the ex-girlfriend talking about Ernie trying to get her to go to Utah to rescue children from a trafficking ring. How? I guess this is a dumb question because I really don't know. But how would Ernie Shell be the one who gets information on a child being in a specific area that he knows for a fact is being trafficked? I mean, he has said, we heard him say one time, he was waiting because the traffickers were going to give him some money. He did say that.
Yeah, Ernie was like not very far from where Summer was when she went missing. Okay. Here's the video. The video is titled, Benny Keys releases a bombshell recording of Ernie Shell's ex-girlfriend in reference to Summer Wells.
In the Summer Wells case, I was told that Ernie knew the parents. And 2 months before, Ernie was trying to get me to go to like Utah with him to rescue a woman and her kid from a sex trafficking thing. I told him I couldn't get involved, but I told him how to do it. I told him to go because you could like choose who you wanted to buy, but you had to take them to the motel next door. So I told him to go and buy the woman and the little girl and just don't go to the motel, but to take them to the nearest police station.
Oh, this is the lady and the kids. This is where they, okay. Okay, I do have the closed caption on. She's talking kind of quickly. So she told Ernie what he needed to do. to save a woman and her children from traffickers.
So what he done was he went and got him, but instead of going to the motel, he started driving back here and had it on Facebook Live.
So instead of taking these saved children and this woman to law enforcement or taking them to a place of safety, Ernie puts them on Facebook Live. You guys got to remember this. I know you do.
Owners or whatever you call them started chasing him. So I messaged him, told him to get it off of Facebook Live because you know who was watching, and to pull over and take the trafficking things out of the woman and the kid.
Take the trafficking things out of the woman and the kid. Somebody remind me what fucking trafficking things were in these kids and in this woman. I've heard of them, you know, being branded, but I don't know.
Place.
Then he was supposed to go straight to the police station, but instead he ended up coming back to like some other police or whatever. But anyway, it worked. So anyway, the Summer Wells thing, the parents owed the Cornbread Mafia like a bunch of money, I reckon.
No, I don't believe that. I do not believe that Summer's parents owed the Cornbread Mafia. Now, if you want to talk about like the Mexican Mafia, that would be a little differently because of the fact that Don talks freely about the Mexican Mafia, what great buddies they are of his, and how even now he could just walk up to a facility with the Mexican Mafia up there and they would give him what he wanted. What's up, Genevieve?
Hang on. All right. Can you rewind that just a little bit? You asked a question about those chips or those tracking devices. This
Yeah,
is
what
the
about 'em?
event. Yeah, this is the event that I got pulled into to start exposing Ernie Shell. This happened December 5th of 2020.
Wow, that was pretty far back, right?
This event right here that they're talking about is exactly what I got pulled into from a Facebook Live video that somebody reached out to me to get my attention on.
Right.
And that's when I was introduced to Ernie Shell.
Well, what are they talking about? I've heard
Oh, this dumbass son of a bitch. He had this woman convinced that she had a grain of rice style microchip in her leg. And then she got on the phone telling me that, well, bless her heart. I mean, just bless her heart. I'm just glad she got
Right.
out of the crap. But
right.
he had that woman believing that she had been microchipped because he found a scratch on her leg and convinced her that's where they had put
Well,
the
let me ask-
tracking
Let
device.
me ask you this, though, Genevieve. Did he actually save her from traffickers?
Hell
Or-
no. He had her convinced because she was in a bad relationship that somebody was trying to get her kid and sell it on the dark web.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding?
No.
Wow.
He fabricates them scenarios in people's heads to get them all worked up and wound up when it's just
Right.
it's
Right. Yeah, I can see him doing that. For real. Sandy said
now I'm
I'd
not
love
saying
to
the
hear-
woman and the child wasn't in any kind of danger at any time. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that she was in more danger being around him.
I believe he's the one that stuck the stuff in Trader's mailbox. Yeah, Trader, what as far as I know, he was walking around her property, down her road or something, right? Tina put one jug in his mouth to bring him back. Probably had mushrooms mixed in the milk. Oh, she said that she was chest to chest with him and she saved his life that way. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, verbatim was that she got to put him on the soundboard that she had at the Hemp Cafe, turn the sound frequencies up, and laid on top of him until he come back to himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not going to badmouth Tina Simmerly.
Yeah, I don't.
Tina has done
I'm
some
not there anyway.
pretty gnarly stuff on her own, but I'm not going to never say that I do not respect her for her intelligence when it comes to alchemy, and I'm never going to disrespect her when she believes in certain things that have been proven to work. But
Right.
I'm not going to play into her extremism mentality and her psychosis.
Right. Yeah, I've
She's a
always
very
said,
well respected individual for her knowledge of alchemy and herbal medicines and things like that. I respect the
right,
woman's knowledge of for that. And
right,
how she's raising her kids. A lot of people don't agree with that, but her kids have experienced more than what most kids get to experience today. And
right,
I kudos to her and Xander for that.
right. All right, let's so he goes, picks this woman and her kids up, takes them wherever he ended up taking them, and the whole time had her believing that they were being followed, people were chasing them, right? So and then to say that they believe that Summer's parents owed I'm not even going to say cornbread mafia, like I said, right? A bunch of money. We don't know. We don't know if that is true or not. We just don't. All right, I'm going to turn it back on.
And they were supposed to trade Summer to pay off their debt because they were threatening to kill him. And so that Ernie knew the Summer's parents, and so he told him he could go in and do the same thing with her that he done with the other lady and kid, and just buy her and not take her back. And so the plan was they were supposed to do that, and then the family was going to take like money they got from donations from like Looking For, and they were going to relocate. But whatever Ernie went to try to buy her, she wasn't on the list because the press was too hot. And they said that whenever
very fucking interesting, Don, that Ernie's telling an ex-lover that he knows where the portal in the fucking world, like a menu to buy women with children.
See, thank you, Constance. That is what gets me, Genevieve.
What's that?
He goes to the point of supposedly going to buy Summer, I guess, right? And take her, and then, allegedly Don and Candace were going to make all this money after she goes missing, right? And here, I'll take that back. Let's take it back. Okay. Let's listen.
I went back here and had it on Facebook Live. So the owners, or whatever you call them, started chasing him. So I messaged and told him to get it off of Facebook Live because she didn't know who was watching, and pull over and take the trafficking things out of the woman and the kid.
Trace.
So, I mean, this woman is the one who says that she told him to take those devices out of that woman and children. So,
Who is this on the? Who is this? Because what you got the speed sped up, and I don't catch the voice.
I don't know who it is.
Okay.
I really don't. I mean, we'll slow it down, but okay, this is what she says. Listen to this.
Then he was supposed to go straight to the police station, but instead he ended up coming back to like some other police or whatever. But anyway, it worked. So anyway, the Summer Wells thing, the parents owed the Cornbread Mafia like a bunch of money, I reckon. And they were supposed to trade Summer to pay off their debt because they were threatening to kill him. And so that Ernie knew the Summer's parents, and so he told him he could go in and do the same thing with her that he done with the other lady and kid, and just buy her and not take her back. And so the plan was they were supposed to do that, and then the family was going to take like money they got from donations from like Looking For, and they were going to relocate. But whatever Ernie went to try to buy her, she wasn't on the list because the press was too hot.
Why they got a fucking list? Who the fuck gets a list of children? What?
Absolutely. Comments like that right there is what's got people on the edge of suspicion.
Well, no, yeah.
How damn deep are they involved with this extremism shit that they're going on the dark web, making contact with these dark web links and having contact with people on this dark web to even have a start or even full knowledge of it? Hell, I don't even go on the dark web. I know it exists, but I'm not going to go over I'm not going to do some shit like that. And they ain't nobody in their right mind going to put themselves in that position to where it draws attention to them from law enforcement the way these people call out others.
That is wild to me that she says she wasn't on the list because the press was too hot.
I don't know if I can or not. I'll tone it down a little bit, Rosemary. This mess is going to have to eventually come to a head, and enough of this shit is enough.
Right. Here, I'll turn her down. She's getting passionate, that's all.
Honey, I'm about ready to bless some people out, pour holy water on their head, and then dunk them in a bucket of coals.
I don't think
this mess has gone on long enough.
I don't know if holy water. I don't know why I can't turn you down. Here.
I'll talk a little softer. I'll move my mic out further.
Hang on, let me see. There we go. I got it.
That was not a threat. That was a sarcastic response. I ain't gonna do nobody like that. As much as I want to, I won't.
There. That should be better. I turned her down. I turned her down, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, it is very frustrating. It really is. I think Ernie was trying to branch out from Tina and Xander the day Summer went missing, trying to start his own. I also think now he was responsible for most of the shit that they've been through. It is publicly known how Xander feels about Ernie. And there is a video out there where Xander is giving his opinion on Ernie Shell. For sure.
That man has took them for a ride. He used what he had knowledge of them. And when I say them, I'm talking as a whole, as a family unit. I'm talking as a family unit. He already knew that Tina and Xander were passionate about ending a lot of, or taking and bringing attention. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with bringing attention.
But this is what I don't understand. And you know, not even talking about Tina per se, but, you know, she has came out and said quite a few things about Ernie, his character, and it hasn't all been good. And it makes you, you know, question, you're saying these things, but you allowed him in your home. You allowed him to stay in your home. So,
like I've said before, you cannot fault someone for showing human compassion to another.
Right. Absolutely. All right, I'm going to turn this back on. So, a freaking list. So, not only are you talking about, obviously, you know, retaining a list of children for sale, don't forget, and I'll have to find it, Ernie made a statement where he said he was waiting on money from traffickers. He absolutely did say that. And I remember the context of it, and it wasn't, I mean, that is exactly what he said. That's exactly what he said,
and he said it numerous times, but yet he wants to falsely call out people and call them human traffickers and child traffickers. And the full definition by his own statement is a transporter.
Right. All right, I'm gonna turn this back on.
And they said that whenever
very fucking interesting, Don, that Ernie's telling an ex-lover that he knows where the portal in the fucking world, like a menu to buy women with children
Yep.
Amen.
for sexual pleasures.
Yep. Exactly.
See, just that, my blood boils. So remember the story that Ernie tells about getting the little girl rescued from the compound?
kill me. No, sir, does not.
When he said that he had to go disguised as a pizza delivery guy, and he broke into the compound and got the little girl out, and they was driving her down to Texas to see her grandpa, who was a detective. But when they got there, grandpa said, nope, they come with too much trouble, I don't want them. So Ernie drove all the way back with bullets flying and the people chasing them to Tina's, and they turned the little girl over to TBI.
That's not how that happened.
Now listen to
How did that happen?
That's not how that happened. They never left Tennessee. Later found out they never left Tennessee. They just drove around to make it look like he was doing something great with them in the vehicle with him.
Tell her.
And
all
they
she-
did not turn that child over to TBI. TBI was not even involved at that the next morning. That was Cott County Sheriff's Department. Because when I talked to Ernie that morning, he was claiming that the woman had stole his car and took off with the kid. And I had followed up with the landmarks that he'd give me and talking to him on Facebook Messenger. And I had called it in that night and give the locations and everything. Now, they didn't probably show up that night. But I know the next morning, nothing happened until Ernie and all of them were in a panic because the woman and the child had got up and left. Ernie was trying to say that she had stole his car, and his car was still sitting there when law enforcement showed up. And they found the kid and the woman on the side of the road and took them in, got to talking to them. The woman shared what her experience was, and law enforcement took it from there. Nobody called CPS but law enforcement that morning, and TBI was not involved until later.
Okay. Hey, Degenerate. Hey, Mama T. Somebody can't see you, Renee. I don't know who can't see you.
Guys, I'm going to keep listening, but I'm going to eat supper with my family. So,
Okay, babe.
I'll
Well, thank
all right,
you.
I'll talk to y'all.
Thank you for coming up and letting us know some of this stuff. Because, like I said, you know a lot more than I do. So I do appreciate.
This is how they tried to. There's a couple of more incidents that had occurred, and it was just a chain reaction of events to keep them stirred up about what they were doing. I'm glad they were trying to call out predators. It was just the way they were doing it.
Right.
All right. So I'm going to jump off for a few minutes.
Okay. Thank you, Genevieve. I appreciate
You're
you. Okay. Hey, Mags. All right. So weird shit, y'all. Weird shit. I'm just saying, for sure. Weirdness.
the story that he told his girlfriend. He says his story to her was that little girl was for sale, and somehow they came across a list of little kids for sale.
Yeah, how do you do that?
Their first instinct wasn't to go take this list to the police. No,
it was to buy the kid themselves. Who does that?
Instinct, if you believe them, was they went to the compound to rescue her with bullets flying, and the people had chips in them, and Ernie had to stop and take the chips out of them, the child trafficking chips.
Oh my God. That is crazy.
Ernie had to do that to rescue the little kid.
Oh my God.
All for, in the end, to turn that little girl back over to TBI.
Well,
when
Genevieve
you know
just
anybody
said,
with half a brain, if you saw a list of a little girl on it for sex, you would turn that in.
hell yeah, I would.
You are not going to go to the compound yourself.
But
if you
I'm
do
going to
your
say this. I would probably never be in a position where I ever came close to having a list of children with price tags on it. That's crazy.
Fool. You're sure not going to drive her clear down to Texas, where her grandpa's a homicide detective. on your own dime,
That's
just
right.
for him to say we don't want her.
Who the fuck would do that? Say that they don't want their grandchild.
To turn around, take her all the way back to Tina, and hand her over to the TBI that should have been handed over in the first place. Now, yes, there was a little girl. Yes, Ernie did give them a ride. Ernie churched up this story, in my opinion. Because why else would you not turn the child over to TBI the minute you got her away from them?
That's right.
Why would you take him clear down to Texas if you just rescued her from a...
Why wouldn't you turn her over to law enforcement in Texas? Why would you take that child back to Tennessee, right?
drug trafficking ring? And you've seen her on a list for sale? And instead of calling the police right away, you take her to Texas? And then when you get to Texas, nobody wants her? You don't alert any authorities in Texas?
I figured a couple of you guys would take the opportunity to come up and have a conversation with Genevieve, but I guess I was wrong.
No, you drive her ass back to Tennessee? Does that make sense? Does any of that even make sense?
No, girl, I don't. It doesn't.
And I'm hoping to prove otherwise. It doesn't make sense.
Or whatever you call him, started chasing him. So I messaged and told him to get it off of Facebook Live because she didn't know who was watching.
Okay,
And
she
pull
backed
over
it
and
up.
take the track.
Okay.
She had to tell him to get off Facebook Live.
She had to tell him to get off Facebook Live, and she also told him to get the tracking devices.
Ernie didn't have enough damn sense to get off Facebook Live. She had to tell him to get off Facebook Live.
Ernie never wants to get off social media, no matter what's happening in his life. It's very important for him to make sure that he has people watching him, no matter what it is.
Message and told him to get it off of Facebook Live because she didn't know who was watching. And to pull over and take the trafficking things out of the woman and the kid.
So Ernie had to pull over.
And how the fuck would you know if they had anything in them like that? That is crazy.
And take the trafficking chips out of
Hey, degenerate, did I say hey?
the woman and the kid so they wouldn't be traced. How do you suppose Ernie's going to get some chips out of a woman and a child? With his handy dandy pocket knife?
Yes. Yes.
I was reading that comment. With his handy dandy pocket knife, was he going to dig into this little girl and get the chip out? Where was the little girl chipped? How do you know where she's chipped?
No doubt.
Is it a sterile environment?
No.
Did you think about that before you left?
No, probably not.
So anyway, the Summer Wells thing, the parents owed the Cornbread Mafia like a bunch of money, I reckon.
When she said
We've already
Cornbread
established
Mafia,
the cornbread mafia
yeah, we
was
did.
a long time before that, and it was about weed.
Yeah, we did. We absolutely did.
Nobody thought to question Ernie on that. Nobody said, hey, Ernie, how did you find this menu to people? How many people are on the menu?
That's
Why
right.
didn't you buy any more little girls? Why didn't you fundraise?
Well,
Ernie, if you're going to LARP and fundraise, that's something we would pay for you to have money to go buy little girls and turn it back over to their parents.
Yep.
Just a minute, let me have my dog out.
For sure.
King camp, or if you just made that up.
A trafficking camp?
Here's a link to Benny's original video if anybody wants to look into it more.
Yeah, I watched that.
This is where the clip came from.
I watched Benny's live.
Camp.
Ernie said the child was in a trafficking camp.
Let's go with.
How the fuck? That's what I always said. How does he know where a trafficking camp is? Right? His eye is trickery. Hey, Angelo. For sure. So we've got Ernie, who not only says that he, you know, protects missing and exploited children, but he knows where to look for them. He can get a list. He can get the dollar amount. He knows where they're at. He knows where to find them. He actually receives money from traffickers themselves occasionally for fucking what? Right? For what?
They told him that to get out of there. The gal wanted a ride down to Texas for her dad. Her dad said, no, I don't want her. So Ernie brought her back to Tennessee. Does that make more sense, or does it
So
make
that wasn't a little girl, right, Constance? Was that a grown adult woman? For some reason, I thought they were talking about a child. Or was she a teenager? It's weird to me that someone living in Texas, even if they said they didn't want whoever it was, that person would have stayed in that state and not left that freaking state.
make more sense that Ernie found one time Ernie found a little girl on a website, on a menu. So he went and bought her.
Yep.
Was supposed to take her just to the next door motel and, have his way and come back. But instead he didn't. He left. He was supposed to go to the nearest police station, but he didn't. He went clear to Texas, then back up to Tennessee. Just ask yourself if that makes sense. Like if I was going to FOIA this incident report,
how would you even do that?
I can't imagine calling the police department and telling this, and the lady would
Did anybody ever FOIA it to see? I don't really FOIA. I mean, I don't have the money to FOIA a bunch of stuff. That's the only reason I don't FOIA a bunch of stuff, for sure. So it can get quite expensive to FOIA things. I guess depending on what you're FOIAing, maybe. Yeah, Kwana. Well, that was just a little preview of Ernie Shell's movies. She's talking about a child. I was talking about the woman and the different child. Okay, Constance. He's been in the middle of Summer's case for over 5 years. Yes, he has. Yes, he has, Sandy.
Do you really need a police report to tell you that he's full of shit? Do you really need something?
And my question is this. If anybody knows, please enlighten me. When he inserted himself into Summer's case, before Don went to jail, had Ernie ever went to 110 Ben Hill Road? Had he ever been to 110 Ben Hill Road before Don went to jail? It seemed like he felt a little bit more comfortable after Don went to jail. Right?
Say that? Oh, I don't know what that is it? Yeah, Tina's talked about it. Tina says that it was a little girl rescued from a compound, and that Ernie did show up at her house with the little girl. There's pictures of Ernie with the little girl. But Ernie says there was guns. People were shooting guns at him as he was trying to get this little girl out of there. No, it just doesn't make sense. I believe Ernie told Tina all this, and Tina believed him. Why? I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, did he ever prove where he even picked this child up, right? Damn, I really would like to find out more about that.
Tina believed him, but I do believe Tina believed him.
Hey, Mr. A.
But in the end, the little girl was turned over to TBI. Who believes that he really sees a menu of children? What
I
happened
do.
to this menu of children, Ernie?
I believe he sees a lot of things because he knows exactly where to look. Exactly where to look. Right?
Did you at least turn that over to the TBI?
Probably not.
Was it investigated? Was it looked into? Was there follow-up?
That's what I want to know.
I mean, what good is it to do all this just to, not have any results? Right.
That's what Genevieve said. TBI was involved and TBI contacted CPS.
Ernie outsmarts the child traffickers. They're going to say, hey, take this little girl over here to this motel and have your way with them. And they're not going to set anybody sitting there to watch him. Bullshit. None of this makes sense. That's why I can't do the Summer Wells clips right now, because just the ones or two that I find make my blood boil. Just, and everybody wonders why people were on Ernie's ass from the time he came here.
Yeah.
Well, if anything else, if nothing happened before the time he came to YouTube, his LARPing in Summer's case was enough to piss people off.
Yeah.
They didn't need to know what happened before that.
I think with me, just being honest, it wasn't the fact that, Ernie, there were many people who inserted themselves into this little missing girls case. Many, many people. It was what he was doing, the things he was doing. Nothing was adding up for me that, he was, I just felt he was using Summer missing for, not good reasons, not sincere reasons. Because before Ernie went to jail, he wanted to tell people where to go look. Go to this motel. Question these people. And I'm like, why are you not doing it? Why are you not doing it, Ernie? Why are you not going to that motel that you're telling other people to go there and question people about a missing child? And, wouldn't that have been a lot of content for him? Wouldn't that have been some great content? Ernie goes to the motel and questions people about Summer. He didn't want to do it. He wanted to send other people. Maybe they should go to some of these places and ask these people about you, Ernie, about you. How do you know where to send people, right? How do you know where to send people to ask about, a missing child?
Hey, TZB. He doesn't understand how emotional people get about child cases.
Yeah, he does.
Just for him to grift off of them.
Yeah, he absolutely does.
He didn't care no more about anything than he did his Cash App and his PayPal.
He absolutely does. Okay, you guys. I'm going to drop this link. Constance has the links in her thing. I'm going to get off here. And I apologize. I can only talk so long anymore. I get wore out. For sure. Y'all please finish watching that. Go to Sizzle's Lair. Check out Read Between the Lines. Check out the Doublemint Twins. Not the Doublemint Twins, Doublemint Twins. Go check Flies has got some stuff on her playlist. None of it adds up, Ernie. Cook County and got DCS involved. So Genevieve, you talked to the woman, you said, right? Hey, silly Billy. Oh, Doohickey. Thank you, Cinnamon Girl. Thank you, Carrie. I appreciate you. Thanks for popping in, Mr. A. Remember, he said children are attracted out of hotel. Well, yeah, motels and stuff. Yeah, Lisa. Children are trafficked from many, many places. Many places. Absolutely. I mean, it's sad to say, but there may be a house on your block right now, right? You don't know what's in that house. You don't know. For sure. I mean, it's just kind of crazy. But yeah, Ernie, I mean, if your boots on the ground and you want to help find Summer, why don't you go to the motel? You know which one I'm talking about. That you told somebody to go there and ask questions. Why don't you go there? Live stream it. I want you to walk up to that motel. And believe me, I'll know if you're at the one that you were telling somebody else to go check it out. Right? Walk up there and start asking some questions. Now, just don't find, you need to make sure you're talking to the right people when you go there. Because I have a feeling they know you. I have a feeling that they know you in quite a few places. For sure. See, I think I know people get very pissed off about him saying he's military, having cancer, different things that he said is wrong with him. I know that upsets people, and I understand that. And, me being military, that, yeah, it pisses me off. I don't say a lot about it. I've dealt with many people in my life having cancer and passing away. It pisses me off. I don't say a lot about it. But when you start using and, in my opinion, exploiting missing and exploited children, that kind of upsets me. You, in my opinion, victimize victims, and sometimes it's victims that you've made victims. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. But then you know how it is with children, right? You know the dollar amount. You know the dollar amount that, the traffickers getting paid? You got a list. You have a list. So you would have the price. And you, of all people, can just walk up anywhere. You can walk up anywhere and know where to go to buy a child. Fucking weird. Freaking weird. All right, you guys. I am not gonna tell you to hate on Ernie. I mean, I could care fucking less who hates him or who don't hate him. I'm at the point where I don't feel nothing for the dude. I really don't. There is a lot of money in kids, yeah, Cinnamon Girl. It's just he knows a lot more about it, right? That's right, Kwana. It doesn't cost a thing. It does not cost a thing, ma'am. So, I mean, like I said, Ernie can threaten to strike people or whatever. It's just without these people who are showing what he's all about, he would be nothing. If everybody right now tonight turned their back on Ernie and did not talk about him, did not try to show people what he's really about, he would not be in a good spot. He wouldn't. Not at all. Genevieve spoke to her on speakerphone. Actually, one thing does line up. No matter who, what, or where Ernie's involved. It seems that way, doesn't it, Angelo? It just seems that way. It's one thing to make a lot of money off of a lot of women that he absolutely knows. Ernie knows when all else fails for him, he goes straight to the Summer Wells case. I've seen him. It's been a while because I don't watch him anymore. But if Ernie doesn't feel like he's getting a certain amount of attention, he'll mention Summer Wells. He could go an hour talking about something, and if he didn't feel that attention was there, he would bring up Summer's name. He absolutely would. So I'm just going to say right now, I don't know a lot of the speculation and stuff like that in Summer's case. I never went there. I never paid attention to a lot of what other people were saying about Summer. Some of it's crazy stuff. Some of it's crazy stuff. I know what I know. I know what I can talk about. I know what I have faith in when I talk about something, that I've learned over 5 years. It bothers me a lot when individuals act like they are going to be Summer Wells's hero. I'm going to be the one that finds her. It shouldn't be like that. If it's truly about a missing child, It should not be about anybody being a fucking hero. It shouldn't be about that. It should be about having a child's best interest at heart. Well, if Seth Rogers lets him get involved with Sebastian's case, you know, I don't know, girl. I do not know, Renee Marie. Claims he got people talking about her again. I never stopped talking about her. Why would I? Never ever. Let me say something real quick here before I get off here, because it was something that really just was horrible. So Brandy was on PNW the other night, and if I remember correctly, the monster's name, Stacy Wondrow. The trial has been moved to 2027. And Brandy was talking about a woman shows up, proceeds to say the most outlandish shit to her, just making Brandy angry. The lady was saying the most stupidest shit to Brandy. And Brandy's husband was going to react in a pretty negative way. And Brandy says, no, this woman had a child in her car. A child in her car. And she takes that child to the house of the mother of a missing child and tries to cause chaos. I'll have to find it. Brandy talked about it. And you know what I want to say, Brandy? I don't feel good, but girl, you call me. Call me. I will come and be your security, ma'am. I will. Fuck that. Now, I don't think Brandy called law enforcement over it. I would have called law enforcement. I would have wanted to make sure that that child she had in the car actually belonged to her. Who does that shit? That is the mother of a child that needs to be brought home. And weird ass people are going to fucking show up and do ignorant shit like that. Girl, let me know. I'll come slap some people around for you. I don't mind one bit. That's so horrible. Horrible. But no. Ernie, I know for me, this is what gets me. Where the fuck does he think that this got all this shit he's doing has people talking about Summer? Guess what? People aren't talking about Summer. They're talking about you, Ernie. They're talking about you. Don't even try it. Don't even fucking try it. All right. I adore you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks everybody who came in. Thank you, members. I appreciate you. You guys have a great weekend. For real. Thanks for hanging out with me. And listening to my shit. I always appreciate that. Wouldn't know what to do without you guys, for real. For real. With a character like Ernie, we have learned what real signs and symbols to look for. Craziness. But I appreciate you guys. Go watch all those channels I told you to watch. Carrie, thank you so much. Thank you for being my mod. Carrie is here every time. I appreciate you, Carrie. I really do. Thank you, thank you. All right, I'm going to get off here. Be you, do you. Stand up for what you believe in, you guys. For real. Oh, you can watch Nick too. Nicolina has a lot of stuff on Ernie. It's out there if you guys want to go down the rabbit hole. I did, and believe me, you learn a lot of shit about Ernie that even people don't talk about right now. So, but I adore you guys. Thank you so much. Maybe I'll see you somewhere in a chat or something. I don't know. But until next time, thank you guys. I will catch you later. Thank you.